Great. Good morning. My name is Nick Gove, Interim Chief of Streets. I call to order the Public Improvement Commission hearing of December 4th, 2025. Mr. Lyman, please take a roll call.
Certainly. Would the representative from the Public Works Department please state their name for the record again?
Nick Gove, Interim Chief of Streets.
Property Management Department, please do the same.
Joseph Callahan.
Transportation Department.
Amy Gordon.
Water and Sewer Commission.
Denise Devlin.
Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
Sarah Leon.
We do not have a representative from ISD today, but we do have a quorum. All yours, sir.
All right, so the December 4th, 2025 hearing agenda, we'll start with the hearing minutes from the last meeting. At the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of the minutes of PIC hearing from that was held on November 20th, 25. Do I have here a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of November 20th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, so moved. Okay, next item on the agenda is the public hearing continued on a petition by NStar Electric doing business as Eversource Energy for a grant of location to install an electric transformer vault and associated infrastructure within Whitby Street in East Boston, located at address number 16, generally northwest of Ford Street, as shown on the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan of Transformer, MH for PIC, 16 Whitby Street, East Boston, one sheet dated November 2025. Would the project team please introduce yourselves and your affiliations and provide a summary of the progress you have made since your previous hearings?
Okay, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Chanel.
Oh, okay, hi. Okay, 1 second. To share. Hey, hello. Okay, this is Chanel Grant from Eversource, and it's regarding 16 Whitby Street in East Boston. And yes, this job has been continued several times. And so the city and Eversource has finally agreed and come to terms, so we are good to go. And we're installing conduit from...
Chanel, I apologize for interrupting. You're very, very faint. If you could maybe move your microphone a little bit closer or something.
Oh, okay, let's see. Testing 1, 2.
Oh, that's a little better. Thank you.
Okay, good. Turned up the volume. Okay. All right, I'll start over. This is Chanel Grant from Eversource Energy regarding 16 Whitby Street in East Boston. And yes, the job has been continued several times. And the city and Eversource has agreed and come up to terms, so we're good to go. And we're installing conduit from pole 228 over 4 going to a new manhole, which is going to have a transformer inside of it. And then from the manhole, we're installing conduit back to the customer's private property. And there was a problem because there was no place to put the pad mount on the private property, the customer's private property. That was the hold up on the why it was continued. So city, Eversource, we all agreed, and they said we're good to go.
Any comments or questions from the commission? Hearing none, any questions or comments from PIC staff or the public?
I will take this opportunity to remind the public, if you wish to ask questions or add testimony to any particular project, we ask that you please use the raised hand function, which can be found at the Reactions tab at the bottom of your screen. I do not have any comments or questions remaining on this project. I do appreciate Eversource's diligence on those license agreements, and I'm not seeing anything from the public, so I think we're all set on this, sir.
Thank you. All right, do I hear a motion to approve the public hearing continued number 1?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by NSTAR Electric, DBA Eversource Energy for grant of location in Whitby Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you to Eversource. Next item on the agenda is the public
Thank you very
hearing
much.
on a petition by 635 Hyde Park Ave LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to the following public ways in West Roxbury. Hyde Park Avenue on its westerly side at addresses number 635 through 641, south of Canterbury Street, and then Canterbury Street on its southerly side, west of Hyde Park Avenue. As shown on plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, Pedestrian Easement Plan 635-641 Hyde Park Avenue and Canterbury Street Public Ways, Rosendale, sheet dated April 9th, 2025. Will the project team please introduce yourselves and your affiliations and provide a summary of the progress you've made since your new business hearing?
Sure. Good morning, Chief Gove, board members, PIC staff, Attorney John Pulgini, here on behalf of 635 Hyde Park Avenue LLC. With me this morning is Matt Smith, our civil engineer from Norwood Engineering. So 635 Hyde Park Ave is a new housing proposal. I don't know if, Matt, you can share the plans, or Justin is also on, I believe. I don't know if he's in the waiting room to pull our plans up. Oh, we got it. Okay, thanks. So 635 Hyde Park Ave is a new housing proposal at the corner of Hyde Park Ave and Canterbury Streets in Rosendale. It went through an articulating process to include the construction of a 4-story mixed-use building, 27 dwelling units, and approximately 914 square feet of retail. The proposal will also provide 14 parking spaces located partially below grade that will be accessed on Hyde Park Ave. As far as the specific repairs action, we are resetting the granite curbing along Canterbury and Hyde Park Ave, reconstruction of 2 ADA ramps, one along Canterbury and one along Hyde Park Ave, extending the curb cut along Hyde Park Ave to create narrower curb cut to be 12 feet, which will be used to access the residential driveway to the building, creation of 6 outdoor bicycle parking spaces, creation of 4 new street trees along Canterbury, install a new monolithic concrete sidewalk within the extent of the parcel on both Hyde Park Ave and Canterbury. And the sidewalks on Hyde Park Ave will be 9.5 feet. Canterbury sidewalks will be a minimum of 8 feet. Now, since we last met, we had a meeting with Sarah and Dolores on November 21st. There were 2 issues, if you remember. One is with respect to a pedestrian ramp, and the other was a grade along Canterbury Street. With the pedestrian ramp, Matt Smith had revised our plans showing that they are compliant, and those were shared with the board on November 26th. And with respect to the grade change along Canterbury and the possible variance from that, Matt did do some recalculations, and he stated that we are below the 7.5% threshold. Those were forwarded, and what I would say to the board this morning, if that's not acceptable, as long as we get what the violation is in writing, we will pursue a variance with Matt. Appreciate and happy to answer any questions on this.
Great, thank you. Any comments or questions from the commission?
Yes, thank you so much, Chief. Thank you also to the project team who met with us between this hearing and the last one. I do believe that our ADA ramps team still does have clarification on what grade is considered the ramp, and they determined that a variance is needed, and is still waiting for the proponent to commit to that path of permitting before we're comfortable with letting this be approved.
So Sarah, Scott, excuse me, Chief, could I just answer that or ask a question directly to Sarah on this?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sure. Sarah, I know we met and I had reached out to you last night after the exchange of emails. On the November 26 plans, which were forwarded to you, are you in agreement those address the 4-foot requirement that we went over on that meeting on November 21st?
So I'm not aware of a November 6th email that was sent. I'm happy to take a look after this meeting, but I'm not aware of that email.
It was November 26th.
Because of the Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, November 26th. So what I would just say is this to the board: any issues or disputes, as long as they're in writing, we will. And this is a recommendation, and what we had told Sarah and her team when we met with them back on November 21st. We will pursue a variance with MAB as long as it's in writing and we know what we're asking for. And our permitting is contingent.
So far, I have not received confirmation of that commitment. I've just received an explanation on why the team doesn't believe that they need a variance. So I'm still looking for that commitment in writing
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you in
both our
writing.
teams to be comfortable with that.
I'll send it to you in writing right now. I'm representing on this meeting right now that we will do that. That's why I had reached out to you yesterday regarding the email I received. And I don't know if Matt Smith is on this call, but.
I am.
Okay, I will.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Perfectly.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to say a few words on this, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
My name is Matt Smith. I'm an engineer with Norwood Engineering Company. We did the design for this project. We've had 2 great meetings with the whole team from the city of Boston regarding the curb ramps. I got some great feedback, and we did do 2 revisions to the plan. The latest revision is revised 11/21/25, and I believe that addresses the issues that we talked about at our last meeting. It seems like the team from Boston maybe didn't get that plan, but we do believe that we comply with the regulations. It may be a bit of a gray area with interpretation, but we believe that we comply. However, as John had said, that the team is willing to ask for a variance from Mass Architectural Access Board. However, before the team can do that, we need to identify to MAB what the nonconformance is and what relief we're asking for, and specifically which regulation number that we would need relief for. So that is what we're asking now, that if the team from the city could tell us exactly which regulation that they feel we don't comply with, then John and Tony, the developer, are willing to ask for that variance, and we can go to the next step. But that's our summary of the project from up to this point. Thank you.
Just to clarify, sorry. I do believe that we had sent that section over to you after the meeting. I don't have it off the top of my head, but we're happy to re-forward you that section of 521 CMR. In order for us to feel comfortable, I would need an okay from our Streets Cabinet ADA RIPS team to also feel comfortable with that as well. If the team would consider being continued to the next meeting in order for time for review, both for the email that you're going to send to John as well.
You already sent it. You have it. You have it, Sarah. It's in your inbox as well as everybody else in this call.
I wish I could check my email during the hearing.
God's on it too.
But additionally, we would want Dolores Carbona to also review that with her staff and give her time to review that commitment as well.
So could I just speak to that quickly? We have agreed that we will go to MAB for any violations that we have, any variances that we need. That is in writing. I don't feel there's any reason to continue this hearing. Our permitting is contingent upon receiving that variance, so without that, we will not be able to go forward. I have forwarded an email to Sarah which stated that. So at this point, we would request to go to a vote. As long as you're fine with that, Sarah. We're not going anywhere. It's all contingent upon approval by you guys or MAP.
I think we would feel more comfortable having Dolores' staff take a look at that within these next 2 weeks.
Well, this is our public hearing, and we just spent a significant amount of money on the advertisement of this. I don't understand what was going to change in the next 2 weeks.
I can jump in just on the ads. I can confirm that we do not need, if we're going to continue this, these actions to December 18th, we do not need to re-advertise anything. So it'd just be the time delay. There's no additional financial expense associated with the PIC at least.
Right. Whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, I think that we would need, right, the right people to, right, you're making a commitment, but also asking us to provide you with what you're making a commitment to. And so that seems like a lot of outstanding things, especially without all of the right folks here to kind of weigh in on that. So I think we should continue.
Any other questions or comments from commission members? Questions, comments from PIC staff or the public?
I do not see anything with the public. Just for, if this is going to be continued, Chief, the next hearing date is December 18th. So we would be continuing to that date.
And Todd, will we also be continuing the pedestrian easement action as well to that date?
Yeah, so we're actually technically speaking to the pedestrian easement currently.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but that's all right. Yes, we would continue both actions, the easement and the next action, which is the specific repairs.
Okay, perfect.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to continue a petition by 635 Hyde Park Ave LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement in Hyde Park Ave and Canterbury Street as read in the record by the chair until December 18th? 18th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any oppose or abstain? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you to the proponent. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Okay, next item on the agenda. Petition by 635 Hyde Park Ave LLC. Excuse me, wrong one. Apologies.
Nope, you're right.
That's the right one?
Yeah, number 2 is the same proponent.
You're here twice.
It's just a different action.
All right. Petition by 635 Hyde Park Ave LLC for making of specific repairs within the following public ways in West Roxbury, consisting of curb realignment and sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavement, street lighting infrastructure, street trees, bike racks, and driveway curb cuts. Hyde Park Ave at addresses number 635 through 641, south of Canterbury Street, and Canterbury Street, west of Hyde Park Avenue, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Specific Repairs Plans 635 through 641 Hyde Park Avenue and Canterbury Street, Public Ways in Rosendale, 2 sheets dated April 10th, 2025.
Good
Next
morning.
on.
Yeah, I'll just start. Good morning, Chief Gove. Board members, PIC staff. Again, this is Attorney John Pulgini here on behalf of 635 Hyde Park Avenue LLC. With me is Matt Smith, our civil engineer from Norwood Engineering. The proponent will respectfully request a continuance to December 18th to coincide with the other action on this, so the pedestrian easement and specific repairs could be heard at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from commission members?
Mr. Chair, may I address the committee, please?
Sure.
Comment? Yes, again, Matt Smith from Norwood Engineering Company. A technicality, the plan is dated April 10th, 2025, but the latest revision date is November 21st, 2025. So I wonder if that could be put into the meeting notes. So when it's finally voted, we're referring to the latest revision date. So the latest revision date is 11/21/25, and I think that might be helpful for everybody to know the latest plan. Thank you.
Sure. We'll take, once we have finalized the plan in the next 2 weeks, send it over to us, and we'll make sure that the date is accurately reflected on the December 18th agenda.
Okay. John, if you could maybe follow up on that. I think that plan has already been forwarded to the PIC.
Yeah, my records show that it was sent on November 26th, so I'll make sure that everybody has it. I'll resend it.
Okay.
Sure. Yep. John, I'll work with you to make sure that we have the right one.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from the commission? How about questions, comments from PIC staff or the public?
All set.
Great. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to continue a petition by 635 Hyde Park Ave LLC for the making of specific repairs in Hyde Park Ave and Canterbury Street as read into the record by the chair until December 18th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, on a petition by trustees of Boston University for the granting of a project license for the installation of canopies over portions of the sidewalk within Commonwealth Avenue, the public way, Boston proper, located on its southerly side at address number 700, generally across from Granbury Street. As shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, License Plan 700 Com Ave, Public Way, Boston proper, 3 sheets dated September 2025.
Good morning, Chelsea Christensen, Niche Engineering, on behalf of Boston University and MDS Architects. We are proposing to replace the existing canopy at Warren Towers, located at 700 Commonwealth Avenue. Our site is located here at 700 Commonwealth Avenue, across from Granby Street, along the Charles River campus. The existing canopy is about 10 feet above the sidewalk. The existing sidewalk's approximately 22 feet wide. Existing canopy about 10 feet high and 10 feet projecting over the existing sidewalk. The proposed canopy varies along the length of the sidewalk. For the majority of the sidewalk, it will be 8 to 10 feet projecting over the sidewalk, a minimum of 11 foot 8 inches in height, and projecting up to 13 foot 4 inches. At the main entry to the building, the canopy will be much higher, about 23 feet high, and projecting about 15 feet over the sidewalk. With that, I'll turn it back to the commission for questions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from commission members? How about questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this.
Great, thank you, Todd. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by trustees of Boston University for the granting of a projection license in Commonwealth Avenue as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, on a petition from MCRT Investments LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to Everett Street, Public Way in Brighton, located on the westerly side at address number 250, generally between Brentwood and Raymond Street. as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan, 250 Everett Street, Boston, Brighton. One sheet dated October 2nd, 2025. Can the proponent please proceed with an overview?
Good morning, Chief and Commission members. My name is Maddie Blanchard with Howard Stein Hudson. We're the civil engineer for the project. I'm also joined today by members of Mill Creek Residential Trust, the project proponent, and Cube 3, the project architect. The project site is located at 250 Everett Street in the Alston-Brighton neighborhood and is a 1.8-acre site. The existing site contains a 3-story office building surrounded by surface parking lots, landscaped areas, and a contractor's laydown yard. The project proposes the demolition of this building to allow for the construction of a 6-story residential building. This building will provide 240 residential units, amenity space for residents, and subsurface parking for up to 110 vehicles. The development will also provide publicly accessible open space on the south side of the project. The project is requesting approval for a pedestrian easement along the entirety of the site's frontage on Everett Street. This easement will allow for an 8-foot clear cement concrete sidewalk measured from back of sidewalk furnishing zone. The easement has an approximate width of 4.6 feet and a total area of 2,213 square feet. No changes have been made to this plan since we last presented at New Business.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from commission members? Hearing none. Any questions or comments from PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by MCRT Investments LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement in Everett Street as read into record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a petition by MCRT Investments LLC for making of specific repairs within Everett Street in Brighton, located at address number 250, generally between Brentwood Street and Raymond Street, consisting of curb and sidewalk reconstruction with structural soil, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, specialty pavements, street lighting, infrastructure, traffic signal infrastructure, storm drain infrastructure, street trees, planters, landscaping, bike racks, and driveway curb cuts. As shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, specific repair plan, Everett Street, Public Way, 250 Everett Street in Brighton, 3 sheets dated October 2nd, 2025. Proponent, please proceed with an opening.
Good morning, Maddie Blanchard again with Howard Stein Hudson, joined today by members of Mill Creek Residential Trust and Cube 3. The project is seeking approval for specific repairs adjacent to the 250 Everett Street project site. The specific repairs include sidewalk reconstruction and widening. The widening includes a 4-foot wide furnishing zone comprised of permeable pavers, the installation of 10 new street trees surrounded by structural soil, closure of 2 driveway curb cuts, installation of 1 27-foot wide driveway curb cut, and pedestrian ramp reconstruction on the north side of the Everett Street and Raymond Street intersection. The project will also provide an 8-foot wide clear cement concrete sidewalk measured from back of sidewalk furnishing zone. Lastly, the project includes the removal of 5 existing public shade trees within the Everett Street right-of-way. The removal of these trees have been approved by the Parks Department in early September. There have been no changes to this plan since the project was last presented at New Business.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from commission members? Hearing none. How about PIC staff or members of the public?
One thing to mention here, my understanding is that the project has been in coordination to some extent with their neighbor to the north. I believe it's Harvard. And there may be an intention to lay out a new public way partially over this site at some point in the future. And again, my understanding is that this project has committed to working with Harvard and the PIC in the future on that. Maddie, would you be able to speak to that and maybe confirm that commitment?
Yeah, thanks, Todd. The northern and western sides of the site have been designed to support the widening and future roadway installation. Shall that be proposed in the future? And with that, the project's commitments to working with our abutter are included in the TAPA. Draft TAPA language has been sent to BTD that includes that, and the formal submission is forthcoming.
That's perfect. Thank you, Maddie.
No problem.
Other than that, I'll just mention that an LMI is required for this project as is standard practice.
Yep, we will coordinate that. Thank you.
Any public comment on this one?
Sorry, no, all set.
Great. Do we have a motion from the commission members?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by MCRT Investments LLC for the making of specific repairs within Edward Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, so moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda on a petition by National Grid for the making of specific repairs within Henshaw Street in Brighton, located on the southwesterly side at the rear of 301 Washington Street, generally between Cambridge Street and Menlo Street, consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps. As shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, specific repairs plans, Henshaw Street, Brighton, 2 sheets dated December 2023. Can the proponent please proceed with an overview?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you to the Commission, Victor Santana, Corporate Affairs, Sam Uefo, Lead Engineer on behalf of National Grid. And in support of our petition for specific repairs on Houston Street, we have discussed, reviewed the plans with the different municipal agencies, and we have built into those plans and adopted all conditions and input that were provided to us. Ready to answer any questions or any additional items that may be outstanding.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from commission members? How about PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this.
Thank you, Todd. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by National Grid for the making of specific repairs within Henshaw Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose or abstain? Hearing none, so moved. All right, next item on a petition by National Grid for a grant of location to install a gas regulator station and associated infrastructure within the following public ways: Brighton, Henshaw Street, generally between Cambridge Street and Menlo Street, and Cambridge Street at Henshaw Street. As shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, grant of location plans, Cambridge Street and Henshaw Street, gas regulator station, Brighton, 6 sheets dated September 8th, 2025. Back to the proponent.
Again, thank you, Chair Victor Santana and Sam Uefo, National Grid, in support of our petition for the construction and installation of a regulator station and related assets, inlet size, pipe size of 12-inch, outlet size of 6-inch. This is part of our continued commitment to provide safe and reliable service to our customers. This particular station will serve around 4,800 customers. Once again, we have reviewed our plan and design with the different agencies, and we have adopted all inputs and conditions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from commission members? How about PIC staff or members of the public?
All set.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by National Grid for a grant of location in Henshaw Street and Cambridge Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstain? Hearing none, so moved.
Thank you.
Item on the agenda, on a petition by National Grid for a grant of location to install a gas regulator station and associated infrastructure within the following public ways in Roxbury. Island Street between Gerard Street and Mass Ave, Gerard Street south of Island Street, and Massachusetts Ave at Island Street. As shown on the set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, grant of location plans, Gerard Street and Island Street, gas regulator station in Roxbury, 6 sheets dated September 30th, 2025. Proponent, please proceed with an overview.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Peter Nagel, National Grid. Before you today, we're looking to install a station that would serve roughly 11,500 customers at the proposed site. Prior to working this site, working with PIC staff and our real estate folks, we tried to ID certain off public rights of way that were unsuccessful in the area, specifically at the adjacent to the car wash on Mass Ave, as well as the McDonald's parking lot on the corner of Southampton and Mass Ave as well. As I indicated, the new station would serve roughly 11,500 customers. It is an IP system which would feed to our low pressure distribution system. We have a couple of notes. There's a 6-foot sidewalk on that section. So we would have a pole-mounted skater box as opposed to a traffic box to ensure the 5 feet of ADA compliance there. And additionally, per kind of a long-term agreement with the city, they would be slip-resistant Bilco doors. This project would probably not go into construction until next construction season. And I'll turn it over to commission members and or staff for comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Questions or comments from commission members? Hearing none, how about PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this. We appreciate the flexibility in the design of the corner and the placement of all of the infrastructure to allow for accessibility.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by National Grid for a grant of location in Island Street, Gerard Street, and Mass Ave, as read and directed by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Hearing none, so moved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, on to new business. First item up is 115 to 121 Boston Street, West Howell Street, Dorchester. Pedestrian easements, specific repairs on a set of petitions by Boston 115 Development LLC. Would the project team please proceed with an overview?
Good morning, Chief and Commission members. Maddie Blanchard with Howard Stein Hudson, the civil engineer on the project. I'm also joined today by members of Boston 115 Development LLC, the project proponent, and KDI, the project architect. The project site is a 0.8 acre site located in Boston's Dorchester neighborhood at 115 through 121 Boston Street. The site is bounded by Boston Street Extension to the north, Boston Street to the east, West Howell Street and a privately owned parcel to the south, and a privately owned parcel to the west. West Howell Street and Boston Street are both City of Boston owned rights of ways, while Boston Street Extension is a MassDOT owned right of way. The existing project site is comprised of a 1 to 2 story commercial building surrounded by surface parking lots. The project proposes the demolition of these buildings and surface parking lot to allow for the construction of a 5-story mixed-use building. This building will provide approximately 90 residential units, ground floor commercial space, and subsurface garage parking accessed from Boston Street Extension for up to 56 vehicles. Within the Boston Street right-of-way, the project is seeking approval for specific repairs and a pedestrian easement. The specific repairs include sidewalk reconstruction and widening. The widening will allow for the installation of a 4.5-foot wide sidewalk furnishing zone. This furnishing zone will consist of permeable pavers, 4 new street trees underlain by sand-based structural soil, 4 new bike racks, and the installation of a 15-dock bike share station. Beyond the limit of sidewalk furnishing zone, a 10-foot wide cement concrete sidewalk will be provided. This sidewalk falls within the private parcel, thus a pedestrian easement will be granted as part of this project. Specific repairs also include closure of 2 existing driveway curb cuts adjacent to the project site, the reconstruction of 2 pedestrian ramps adjacent to the project site at the intersection of Boston Street and Boston Street Extension, and the curb realignment and pedestrian ramp reconstruction at the northwest corner of the Boston and West Howell Street intersection. The curb realignment here will allow for a safer and shorter crossing for pedestrians and improve safety. Along West Howell Street, the project is also seeking specific repairs and a pedestrian easement ultimately be granted. The specific repairs will include sidewalk construction not only adjacent to the project site, but adjacent to the existing parcel at 123 Boston Street. The sidewalk installation adjacent to 123 Boston Street will include a 2-foot wide permeable paver sidewalk furnishing zone, as well as a 5-foot wide cement concrete sidewalk. These portions of sidewalk that are being installed will be installed entirely within the public right-of-way and will allow for 2 existing street trees adjacent to this parcel be maintained. Adjacent to the project site itself, the project will install a 4.5-foot wide furnishing zone, which will include 1 new street tree, the installation of sand-based structural soil around that street tree, and landscaping improvements around another existing street tree adjacent to the project site. Beyond the limit of sidewalk furnishing zone, a 5-foot wide cement concrete sidewalk will also be installed. This sidewalk falls within the project parcel, therefore a pedestrian easement is requested. The Boston Street pedestrian easement requested to allow for the 10-foot wide sidewalk has an approximate width of 5.2 feet and a total area of 954 square feet. Within West Howell Street, the pedestrian easement is requested to allow for the 5-foot wide sidewalk. This pedestrian easement has an approximate width of 4 feet and a total area of 500 square feet. That's all we have, and we're happy to answer any questions the commission members may have.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the commission?
Thank you so much, Maddie, for the presentation. I believe our Streets Cabinet ADA rep team is requesting grades for all the reconstructed pedestrian ramps. So if you could get that information to our team, that would be very helpful for our continued review.
Yes, and is that for the ramps we're reconstructing, or we're reconstructing all reciprocal ramps that are non-compliant? But can you just clarify what specifically the ramps team is looking for?
Yes, so all of the ramps that are being reconstructed by this project.
Okay.
Like you could provide like a cut sheet of each ramp with its grades to ensure full compliance with OA.
Okay, we can coordinate on that outside of the hearing. Thank you.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from commission members? How about PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this.
Great, thank you. Is there a motion?
They just come back in 2 weeks.
Great.
Yep, so, yeah, so, Maddie, please confirm that 2 weeks, 2 weeks is your only option, at this particular hearing, but, yeah, we'll declare your public hearing for December 18th.
Yeah, thank you. We should be ready to come back on the 18th.
Perfect.
Any other questions, comments? All right, hearing none. Next item of new business, 529 to 543 Main Street in Charlestown, specific repairs on a petition by the Boston Planning and Development Agency doing business as the Boston Planning Department.
So we're here to present on the Main Street Interim Flood Protection Project in Charlestown. I'm Robin Seidel, I'm Resiliency Team Leader at Weston Sampson. I'm joined by Ben Matiso from the Boston Planning Department, who is the project proponent. The goal of this project is to reduce near-term flood risk while longer-term coastal flood resilience projects are advanced in the neighborhood. We're seeking approval for permanent and deployable elements located in the public right-of-way. This slide orients you to the project area around Main Street, Medford Street, and Mishawum Street. And you can see how close this location is to Sullivan Square and the regional roadway network. This is a low point where coastal flooding moves through this very confined area inland, which then affects the rest of the neighborhood, Cambridge, Somerville, and some critical infrastructure such as the Sullivan Square station. Zooming in, this shows a specific segment of Main Street where the barrier system will tie into higher ground. The location was selected to intercept flood pathways while minimizing the impacts to traffic and adjacent uses. The alignment also considers existing utility locations, an existing railroad, which is currently not in use, and emergency access. The city's strategy is to pair this short-term measure project with some longer-term coastal efforts in the future. Sea level rise is expected in the 2030s to increase in frequency and depth in this area. And so this project, as you can see, sort of in the area that is located, identified by Schrapp Center, shows where that flood pathway is. And this will provide a near-term risk reduction for residents, businesses, and key transportation routes. And here you can see how closing this gap at Main Street contributes to neighborhood scale coastal flood protection at this very specific low entry point, as I mentioned earlier. And then this is the red line outlines the extent of the barrier improvement that we're looking to put in here and how that would impact the greater neighborhood with that flood reduction. The project consists of three main components: permanent concrete flood walls, deployable barriers, and storm drain improvements. These elements work together to form a continuous line of protection to the 2030 1% storm event. Our design balances this flood protection and performance with maintaining day-to-day access and circulation. The project includes several segments of permanent concrete walls noted here. And these walls will vary in elevation above grade, maintaining a 20-31% elevation. The wall ranges from a few inches above highest ground elevation to approximately 3 feet at the lowest ground elevation, which is right at the intersection of this driveway. The permanent design features were coordinated with adjacent property owners, the city's urban design team, and Disabilities Commission to address visual quality and public realm impacts, specifically when the deployable barriers are deployed, which we're also including signage and notification system to notify adjacent property owners and to help re-navigate folks along a bike pathway that's adjacent to this system to redirect pedestrian traffic. The deployable system completes this line of protection at these openings. It includes a lift swing gate at the railroad tracks and a stop log system right at that intersection with that driveway and Main Street. And these elements will only be installed or closed in advance of major coastal storms. And across the area that intersects with Main Street, we're proposing this approximately 60 feet of deployable stop logs with removable posts. When installed, the top of the stop log system is about 3 feet above grade. This allows the street to function normally most of the time and then only provides a temporary closure when there's significant storm events. And storage of the system will be provided in the parking lot behind the fire station next door. The 20-foot lift swing gate spans across the existing railroad tracks, and in normal conditions, it'll be left open and does not interfere with the rail operations or access. So prior to the storm, this will be closed. In addition to the flood protection, we're improving the streetscape accessibility in the project area in coordination with Boston Transportation Department. Their upcoming redesign for the Rutherford Ave Sullivan Square area. And these improvements include a raised crosswalk, regraded sidewalks, and to shed stormwater, and upgrades to the bike lane, as I mentioned earlier, to function as an emergency pedestrian route when flooding conditions are occurring. And the goal of this is to really provide some more additional benefits, co-benefits to pedestrians, cyclists, and safety. We've also detailed a standard operating procedure, and this coincides with activating these barriers. The Office of Emergency Management is responsible for the decision-making of the deployables for this based on storm forecast. And the equipment, as I mentioned, will be stored just next door at the fire department parking lot. The SOP that we developed for this covers notification of property owners, the public, training, communications, as well as maintenance. We've also had a lot of ongoing coordination with Flatley Group on the Schrapp Center, including the visual design of some of the walls, easements, and staging, and with Massport and CSXT, who own the railroad. So we've been working with them on railroad operational needs. As I mentioned, that railroad system right now is currently not active. And we've coordinated with Boston Fire Department to avoid the apron of their building and any foundational issues as we build this wall adjacent to their property. And preliminary meetings, I'll just note that we've had with the city, different city departments were held in spring and summer 2025 to review concepts and gather feedback. We've met with a variety of different departments, including BWSC multiple times, August and December of 2025. And we've circulated plans around to all agencies for review. And we additionally did not receive comments from the Utilities Department, but we have updated the plans that we've provided to all of you to provide additional information on utilities. And that is all I have, so I'm happy to take any questions.
I have a question on the deployable barriers. I thought you said that they're going to be stored at the fire department station. Who exactly will be responsible to install and then break down the deployable barriers?
Yeah, great question. So the Office of Emergency Management has a variety of deployable barriers that they're responsible for activating, and then each agency who's sort of working on each of these systems will have a designee. I don't know, Ben, if you're on, if you want to speak more to that.
Yeah, OEM is the agency responsible for the activation and deployment of them. We are not exactly sure who within that department is going to be coordinating that, but they've taken responsibility for it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Ben, can that detail be included in this project's license agreement, please?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Hi, Ben and Robin. This is Denise from BWSC. Thank you for sending the email back with the comments that we sent you. We should definitely have a follow-up meeting before the public hearing to go over the comments.
Yeah, happy to.
Thank you.
I'll send you an email to schedule something.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions from commission members? How about PIC staff or members of the public?
We are all set on this.
Great, thank you. All right, next.
Sorry, public hearing scheduled for December 18th, for the record.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, next item of new business is 416 to 420 and 441 to 445 Hanover Street, Boston proper. Private utility license on a petition by St. Agrippina Society of Boston. Oh, please proceed.
Good morning. I am Christina Malcolm from Howard Stein Hudson, presenting today on behalf of the St. Agrippina Benefit Society for the installation of the 2 electrical service cabinets in the north end. Just to be brief background, the St. Agrippina Benefit Society operates one of the many feasts celebrated in Boston's North End. The St. Agrippina Feast has been celebrated for over 100 years, and the 2026 season will mark their 112th anniversary. The project is seeking approval for the private utility license to install 2 electric service cabinets on Hanover Street. One cabinet is proposed adjacent to 416 420 Hanover, and the second is proposed at 441 445 Hanover. The cabinets will supply power to the feast vendors and will be privately owned and operated. Electrical service to the cabinets will be provided by Eversource. The cabinets are proposed within the existing furnishing zones on Hanover Street and will maintain a minimum of 6-foot clearance width on the sidewalks. This is just a quick rendering of one of the cabinet locations. This one is shown at adjacent to 416 420 Hanover. And lastly, here is the plan showing the overview of both proposed locations. That's all I have.
Thank you. Questions or comments from commission members?
Do the cabinets have a use beyond the feast?
No, they will just be used for power to feast vendors during this feast.
Yeah, Chung, that was a question that our legal department took a look at, whether these could even be installed within the public right of way, and the determination was made as long as they're used for private use only, these are legally permissible.
Any other questions or comments from commission members?
Oh, yes, hi, Christina. I just wanted to check, so one of our comments, we just want to keep at least a foot horizontal and vertical clearance between our pipes and structures. It just looks like you might be a little close with the hydrant gate on one of the sections.
Yes, understood. I think I have a note on here, and if not, I can add a note to the plans to make that clear.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks.
I think the administration would like to still express some concern about the path of travel left in front of, I believe it is the Table Restaurant with the benches. I see that 6 feet is being provided, but just due to the increase of pedestrians, both during the feast and daily, we still have some concerns about that amount of clearance on the sidewalk.
Understood. I think our intent is to place it within the existing furnishing zone on the sidewalk. There's some street signs and light posts within that sidewalk on that side. And also the cabinet has a relatively small footprint, less than 2 feet wide into the sidewalk. Like I think it's 18, 17 inches. So hoping that that is acceptable.
I think as long as those dimensions don't change, just taking into consideration Commissioner Devlin's comments, just ensuring that that amount of clearance is what is going to be installed, I think we could be okay with that.
Okay, great. I don't anticipate this changing here. I don't think there was many Boston Water infrastructure at this location, so if anything changed, then we would let you know.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from commission members? How about PIC staff or members of the public?
All set on this.
Thank you, Todd. New business item number 4, Hawkins Street. Grant of location on a petition by NStar Electric doing business as Eversource Energy. And the proponent, please provide an overview.
Hanover Street, public hearing scheduled for December 18th for the record.
Thank you.
So even though it hasn't been here previously, it might be rotation.
Eversource team, please go right ahead. If somebody's talking, you're muted.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. My name is Samantha Ramos. I am the project manager for the proposed anode bed installation outside the Eversource station at Hawkins Street. If you don't mind, I will share my screen here. So this is the station, and we're proposing to place anodes along the sidewalk curb that will be in this parking area here and connect into our station. The purpose of these anodes is to provide overcurrent protection to the existing lines. This helps maintain reliability of the power downtown. So yeah, it's essential work, and we would like to get the grant of location. Does anybody have questions about this?
I know the city has a building next door at 43 Hawkins, and right in the photo you're depicting, I believe a lot of the Boston Police Department employees park on that street. Have you had any communication with the Boston Police Department?
The extent of our conversation was requesting to use the vacant lot. I apologize, it's off screen, but it's over here. They use that lot for parking, and we had requested to use that lot to install the anode bed, and were turned down by the land commissioner back in 2024 for that. So we've not discussed this in its entirety with the police department, but the entirety of the street will only be blocked off for a couple of days. So we're hoping to minimize that. That'll be a minimum impact to them. We also do have a traffic management plan that we have submitted that relocates some of the parking spaces.
Well, that may cover it. I'm not sure. I just there's a 24/7 activity. You know, at the local police station. I think it's A1. I just, if the traffic management plan doesn't include it, I do think somebody needs to have a conversation with the precinct captain just to let them know what's going on. It's a very congested area because there's also a lot of double parking. You can see in your photo, I think it's Channel 7. Yeah, right across the street. So it's a very busy street, and I think as much advance notice and communication is important.
It is, yes, and I've got project services actively engaged on this project. They've already prepared notifications to abutters and discussions once we get the grant of location, and that way we can also allow folks adequate heads up so that they know when to expect the congestion of that street.
Can you coordinate with Ed Hesford in the Transportation Construction Management Division about both the permitting of this work and the coordination with the police department?
We have not yet. I understood that we needed the grant of location first.
Yep, well, this is new business, so you can talk to him in between. I think that it would be nice to know if there's anything that would need to change or be spoken about prior to approving this. But yeah, I think you should give Ed a heads up.
Okay. And I will say, just to kind of, reiterate, we have done extensive vacuum excavation, GPR survey, and have exhausted all other feasible options to place this anode bed. This is the last and final option that we have been able that we've been able to find, essentially. Our own station lot is far too congested, and we did attempt to drill a couple of times and vac-exed, and there's just too many undocumented subgrade assets, not just Eversource, but other utilities as well. And then like I said, we also asked about the adjacent lot next to the police station, and we were, after about 6 months of back and forth with the land commissioner, we were eventually turned down. So,
yeah, I don't think we're questioning the placement as much as just making sure the coordination and construction goes off, without a hitch.
Yes, ma'am. That is the plan.
Great.
I was wondering if I could talk a little bit more about the sidewalk reconstruction or any pedestrian ramp reconstruction associated with this project.
So all of the drilling will be done on the street side. We don't anticipate anything other than a single panel of sidewalk to actually be disturbed, which will be repaired to prior condition or better. In addition, the ADA Commission has also requested that we do a reconstruction of the 3 ADA ramps that are here. And we have agreed to that, to perform that work during the summer of 2026. Or at least after the winter moratorium has been lifted.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments from commission members? About PAC staff or members of the public?
The project has received a handful of comments from PIC staff on their plans, and I know that they're working on updating those plans. We appreciate that. We expect to get new plans via email, PDFs before the December 18th hearing. Other than that, we're all set.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, all.
Okay, next item of new business is 944 Saratoga Street in East Boston, specific repairs on a petition by CB Equities 944 Saratoga LLC.
Thank you, Chief Cove, members of the commission. My name is Rick Salvo with Engineering Alliance. With me this morning is John Conley from CB Equities. We also have Bill Mensinger, who is the project architect from Embark. This project is a continuation of a project that was before you back in 2018, I believe. The subject property here is 944 Saratoga Street, which is this vacant parcel of land here adjacent to Noyes Park. Before you, several years ago, was 946 Saratoga Street, which is this building right here, where we appeared to extend the sidewalk. And what we're doing is just kind of continuing that, although there are a couple of hurdles that we've had with the entrance to Noyes Park. That said, you can see the sidewalk extends to here. The project will be located in here, which is a 21-unit multifamily with a small commercial space. The proposal would be to extend the sidewalk down to here, create a curb cut for the maintenance entrance to Noyes Park. As you can see, the crosswalk currently extends into the driveway across the street. Doesn't connect to really a curb ramp on the opposite side. And obviously the maintenance vehicles have kind of been beating up this entrance into Noyes Park. So the proposal, I can zoom in on it here, is to install a D-stone for a 10-foot wide curb cut that would service both of these properties. We would then bump out to get around an MWRA manhole and create a pedestrian area where folks from Noyes Park can cross, and to get this crosswalk out of the entrance to the maintenance entrance to Noyes Park, and also the driveway across the street. So we'd be building accessible ramps on either side, a reciprocal ramp on this side. I would note, probably for some discussion, there is an existing light pole that would end up in the wing to the ramp, but it would not be within the ramp section itself. We'd be including a street tree, a stormwater bioretention area. This would have been a street tree, however, we have a gas line that runs through here, so we couldn't put a tree in this particular area. A bicycle rack and a brick strip along the edge to continue the pattern along this roadway. That's essentially the proposal. I know we've had a lot of conversations around this manhole and this crosswalk location. I don't know if we've got complete approval yet from BTD and from accessibilities. I think there might be a couple of outstanding things. Nonetheless, we thought it prudent to get in front of this commission just so we could have an open dialogue and be able to make sure that we get this plan in a shape that everybody's happy with so we could proceed to the next step. So I guess with that, I turn it back to the commission for any questions or comments.
Thank you, Rick. Commission members, questions, comments?
Hi, Rick. Appreciate the presentation and thank you for these updated plans. I spoke with my colleagues at the Streets Cabinet ADA RIP team, and we are requesting grades for these ramps just to determine compliance with PROAG. So in these next 2 weeks, if we could coordinate that information, that would be helpful for our ongoing review.
Okay, no problem.
And additional question, just wanted to understand if the ramp in Page South, whether or not a return curb was considered to accommodate that existing light pole in the design.
A return curb?
That's correct. On one side, just to accommodate that existing light pole that is currently in the wing of the ramp.
Rick, we have a standard detail for that, Rick. I can provide it for you.
All right, that'd be great.
I'm happy to work with the team between these 2 weeks to ensure that the ramps are compliant.
Great. Yeah, we'll get you those elevations. Visually, I don't see an issue out there, but we'll make sure we get someone out there to shoot those grades and prove it to you that they work out.
Great, thank you so much.
You're adjusting a curb cut on the opposite side of the street. Have you talked with that curb cut owner?
We have not. We're adjusting it by about 3 feet. It's going from about 29 feet to about 25 and a half feet. We have not talked to that property owner yet.
Can you have a conversation with them before you come back?
We sure can.
Great.
Any other questions or comments from commission members? About PIC staff or members of the public?
I think we are all set with this one pending the return curb and the curb cut work. I'm sorry, one thing. Rick, you're showing a bit of bioretention area in front of your property within the curb extension. Would you please just confirm that your client will maintain that via a standard curb cut?
Yep, we'll add it into
standard element.
We'll add it into their own. We have to go to Conservation Commission. We'll make sure that's in their O&M plan for all their stormwater. So no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item of new business is 586 to 598 Canterbury Street in West Roxbury. Pedestrian easement specific repairs on a set of petitions by CALH Investments LLC. Going in here?
Hi, this is Kevin Quetti from Boston Civil. I'm the civil engineer of the project, and I believe John Fulgini will be speaking as well to introduce the project. If not, I can do my best.
John, if you're talking, you're muted still. Take it away, Kevin.
I'll just pull up my screen here. 1 minute. So this project at 586 Canterbury Street is a residential development. It's currently a vacant lot. It ties into, it's going to be tying into the current development that was recently done. And across the street there's a cemetery. So it's a vacant lot. We've gotten the BWSC and conservation approval, and we're proposing new street trees, a pedestrian easement, bike racks, a 5-foot clear path of travel, which triggered the pedestrian easement, and a new curb cut for approximately 32 parking spaces. We've gone through a couple of rounds of comments with the city staff, and reduced the curb cut width. We are relocating a hydrant that was coordinated with Boston Water and Sewer, and are providing typical details, including street trees and structural soil. I'm happy to answer any other questions that come up. I don't know if John is on the call.
Yeah, sorry, my computer I restart and it wouldn't restart. I apologize. So I'm here. Kevin, sorry about that.
Anything you want to add, or you want us to move to questions or comments from?
No, I think Kevin did a really good job. It's just a residential development. A lot of residential development down this area was bordered by cemeteries and off of American Legion and Cummins. Went through an extensive process, and Todd's been great working with him throughout this process and reviewing plans. And at this point, I think, Chief, it's probably just best to turn it over to your board for any questions than anybody else.
Thank you. Commission members. How about PIC staff?
We are all set on this.
No public comments here?
Nope, I see none.
Okay, thank you. Okay, last item of new business is Walnut Ave, Westminster Ave, Crawford Street, Holworthy Street, Humboldt Ave, Monroe Street, Ruthven Street, Cobden Street, Abbotsford Street, Humboldt Court, Roxbury, widening relocation, specific repairs on a set of joint petitions by the Massachusetts Department of Transportation, the City of Boston Transportation Department, and the estates of Carol I. Silva, Westminster Community Limited Partnership, Juan Dolan Johnson and Jaleesa Turner, the City of Boston Office of Housing, William F. Pridgen and William B. Pridgen, the City of Boston Public Schools Department, and 163 through 165 Crawford Street Realty Trust, Malik and Elva Lee Abdal Khalik LLC, and Muriel A. Carter. The proponent, please proceed with an overview.
Thank you, Commissioner Gove. I can't wait to hear Amy say that really fast. Can everyone see my screen? And is it blocked by the controls? Because my version is. Okay, great. So I'm Charlotte Fleetwood. I'm a planner in the Streets Cabinet, and I'm here with Sylvia Castaños, who's our Safe Routes to School planner, and Dylan Skinner, who's the project manager with the Engineering Corp for this project. So this project, design and construction, is being funded and overseen by MassDOT, and it's part of a larger initiative to create family-friendly streets in the city, and especially in particular to create streets that are conducive to safe walking and biking to school. So the project is in the Garrison Trotter neighborhood. There's several elementary schools in close proximity. These are roughly focused around the Ellis, but there's also the Higginson Elementary, the Trotter, and nearby Boston Latin, Bridge Boston, and across the way Higginson Lewis. So there's many youth who are walking these streets every day, twice a day, to and from school. And this is just a quick rendering of the intersections, but it's basically doing traffic calming at the intersections. The city has already done speed humps on the residential streets, so this project will address the intersections on some of the through streets or larger streets. So we have a raised intersection at Ruthven and Walnut, one at Westminster and Walnut, one at Walnut and Cobden, a bit of tightening at Walnut and Crawford, and then a curb extension with some green infrastructure at Crawford and Abbotsford Street. And then as well, new crosswalks with islands, pedestrian refuge islands at Humboldt and Monroe. One of them will be raised, leading to a bus stop. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dylan to go through the specific repairs plans and the widening and relocation plans.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Charlotte. Charlotte did a pretty good overview of the project. Just a little more detail here. Again, specific repairs along Walnut, Westminster, all those roadways. The first intersection is Walnut at Ruthven. Proposed raised intersection at this area with curb ramps along the whole raised intersection. Again, raised intersection at Walnut and Westminster. Same type of improvement here, as well as at Cobden. Again, just promoting safer travel to school and traffic calming throughout the corridor. And then at the terminus of Walnut, again, tightening up those radii, as Charlotte mentioned, curb ramps that have gone through a few iterations, but eventually settled out with folks at BTD. Again, just tightening up those radii, promote lower speeds. This is an always stop intersection at the moment, so that kind of defeated the purpose of any potential raised intersection at this location, so that's the reason why that one was not included. Again, down at Abbotsford and Crawford, we have a curb extension, tightening up the roadway. Abbotsford's one way entering the intersection. This is the location of the green infrastructure that Charlotte mentioned. That's a bioretention area that's been coordinated with OGI, and they've committed to maintain that area after the eventual construction. And then lastly, down at Humboldt, again, those cement concrete medians providing a safe refuge for especially school-age students crossing this area. There was a fatality in this area a few years back now, so this is kind of, even though it's a little further away from the Ellis, this one was chosen to improve the safety in this area. And then it's worth noting the crosswalks along Humboldt Court and Monroe are also proposed to be raised for vehicles entering Humboldt Avenue. But with that high-level overview, I'll turn it over to the commission for any comments or questions. Happy to answer.
Thank you. Questions or comments from commission members?
I think my only question is, there's the one redundant crosswalk that we're creating at like the Crawford Herald section there. Do we know who shovels what over there?
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the property owners would be on the hook for shoveling the area in front of their properties. I think we had coordinated with this with Todd and Amy. Todd and Ashley, they had asked a question about this, and I'm not sure who would shovel the stuff in front of the ramp, but I think the property owners would take onus for at least the area in front of their property right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how we get the ramps cleared.
Mm-hmm.
What's going in the middle triangle there? Is it?
It's a bioretention area.
Is that maintained by our Office of Green Infrastructure?
Yep, they've committed to that.
Can they also include shoveling those outer sidewalks in that maintenance plan?
I can ask them that, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and my apologies, I think we did ask them that, but we should definitely double check.
Great. Yeah, I know we had that conversation a while ago, and I apologize, I just don't remember what the results of that were.
That's fine, yeah, I can follow up with them before the next hearing.
Any other questions from commission members? Todd, what are you?
I think I'm all set with this. The project has coordinated. Charlotte or Dylan, did you touch on the widenings at all?
The widening relocation easements?
Yeah.
No, we can speak to those. Yeah, just there's some areas because of the source of the funding that Charlotte mentioned earlier, coming from the federal highway and being all the construction and design funded through that. The Mass DOT process requires us to clean up the right-of-way and have that all finalized before we advance to project advertising. So there's some locations that we're proposing some small highway alterations here. You can see this thick black line, just to, again, clean up the right-of-way. There's no really changes to how it will appear. That area is just, is bounded by a wall today, so really nothing too crazy in that scenario. And Charlotte and her team have coordinated all those easements. I believe they're planning to appear before PFC in a couple weeks.
Yeah. If you like, I can share the widening and relocation plans. I have them available.
Please do, for the record. Yeah.
Okay.
No public comment here?
I don't see anybody from the public. Charlotte, you're going to zoom in on those highway easement areas.
Yep.
Thanks.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So you can see these are, in this situation on Ruthven and Walnut, it's a very narrow kind of strip that is outside the stone wall of the property and looks like it's part of the sidewalk now, but is actually owned by the property owner, the adjacent property owner. Westminster and Walnut, it's again a tiny 3 square foot parcel, I guess you could call it, at the corner. Walnut and Cobden, it's a kind of I guess I would call it a sliver again along the edge of the property. Similar situation along the Walnut Ave curb. And then again, as Walnut and Crawford come together, a bit sliver parcel. And another one. And, they're all kind of following a similar theme, very, very narrow, in some cases long, but all quite narrow. This is Humboldt and Monroe. So where the building curves, is kind of almost like a triangle that's owned by the property owner that would become part of the public sidewalk. And then a small similar situation across the street. So those are the permanent easements that we're proposing to take as part of this project.
And you said you're coordinating with PFC, and you've also coordinated with all of the abutters, correct?
Yes, we've reached all of the abutters, and yeah.
Great. And one more question, I apologize, I missed this. Back at the Crawford-Abbotsford intersection at your curb extension, you're showing a 14-foot 10 curb-to-curb width there. My understanding is you've coordinated that with the fire department. Would you just confirm that, please?
Yeah, we got clearance from them after our meeting with you, Todd, originally back in, I think it was April. So yeah, we coordinated with that and then have that in writing, but they're okay with that width.
Great, I appreciate you putting that on the record.
Mm-hmm.
See you on December 18th.
Thank you.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, guys.
Great, thank you. That's it, that wraps up new business. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you, everybody.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Nick, Chris.